on the shore of the tarnished coast, looking out over the straits of Malcor, the pale tree stands. From a foundling seed, she sprouted into a sapling no taller than a man, and then she grew until her great branches kissed the blue skies of Tyria. As she watched, the seasons turned, and for a time there was life under her boughs. The slow dance of joy and sorrow, of birth and death played out under the shade of her great canopy. But the lives of men, and even centaurs, are fleeting, and all too soon she found herself alone. For hundreds of years she stood her lonely sentinel as the world changed, silently watching as humanity was pushed out of Maguma and claimed by the Asura. She bore witness to the rise of Zaitan, to the drowning of Lion's Arch, to the charge of the Tengu against the Risen, and the founding of the Dominion of Winds. Her unblinking gaze followed the path of the Krayt and Quaggan as they were driven from their oceanic realms, a sad tide of refugees washing ashore, fleeing the rising. The pale tree is bound to the fundamental magics of Tyria, and like Glint before her, she is a freed dragon champion. If not for a twist of fate, she would have become an instrument of this apocalypse, a mind-shattered slave forced to create life, a nation of children, all broken of will, twisted of flesh, birthed to be fodder for Modremoth's conquest. We know that Glint was purified of Elder Dragon corruption at the altar of Glost, an ancient serpentine race. The Forgotten were her saviors. But how did the pale tree win her freedom? Many scholars believe that it was the influence of two mortals, Ventari the Centaur and Ronan of Kryta. During the long war with the Masat, Ronan, then a soldier, had taken shelter in a cave and stumbled upon 3 magic seeds. He managed to spirit one away from its guardian, planning to gift it to his wife and child upon his return home. The memory of his loved ones sustained Ronan for the long years of war, but when he finally returned home, he found only sorrow. Burying the seed with his wife and child, Ronan vowed to never again take up arms. Years passed. The tree grew, and more lost souls found their way to Ronan's home, war-ravaged and weary. This is how Ventari came to Ronan. 2 war-broken souls, once enemies, finding friendship and common cause at the foot of what would become the Pale Tree. Being the champion of Modremoth, Elder Dragon of nature and mind, the young sapling would have been able to see into the hearts of those who took shelter under her boughs, feeling their pain, understanding their suffering, and their desire for peace. In the Umphalis chamber, at the heart of the grove, where the Pale Mother's consciousness is made manifest, hangs an artifact of this legacy, Ventari's tablet. Carved into its weathered stone is the sum of one being's existence, hard-won wisdom, born of war and suffering, which stands in defiance of hate. This in itself gives credence to the idea that her freedom was won by inches. With each act of compassion and love she witnessed, she broke Modremoth's hold. Some ritualists point to Ronan's action of burying the seed with his fallen family, speculating that their souls could have grown into the tree, becoming part of it and purging the dragon's corruption. There is no evidence here of forgotten involvement, no witness marks of divine intervention, just speculation and unanswered questions. In the light of the revelations of Modremoth's awakening and the betrayal of those who answered his call, the Sylvari nation looks out with caution at its allies. Some will never forgive, and all will never forget the fall of the pack. Many Sylvari have questioned why they were never told, never warned by the Pale Tree before they ventured into Modremoth's domain. The Pale Tree herself is silent, still hobbled and cloistered away from prying eyes. Her recovery will be long. The viciousness of Modremoth's attack on his once champion was breathtaking, an assault of both mind and flesh. The fact she survived it is testament to the bravery of her children and the fortitude of those allied forces who stood with them. The Pale Tree is a conduit to a deeper understanding of our world. She is part of and has a profound understanding of the fundamental mechanics of Tyria, far deeper than any mortal mind. The dream of dreams, the shared consciousness of the Sylvari race, seems intertwined with the eternal alchemy, a world within a world. Only dreamers, those Sylvari yet to awaken, and the Pale Tree herself can truly access this stream of consciousness. An awakened Sylvari's connection to the source is limited, with some shrinking from it entirely, cutting themselves off from the dream like the Soundless, or embracing a darker path like those of the Nightmare Court. Only time will tell if the Pale Tree will recover and join the battle for Tyria. But with the loss of Glint, the exodus of the gods, the betrayal of Balthazar, and the ascendance of Krau Katoric, we can but hope she answers our call.